Hi lovely X-Hemp shareholders, it's Andi Lucas. I thought I'd do our quarterly update a little differently to the last the last year or two's worth of updates, and actually give you a quick tour of X-Hemp HQ out at Cressy. Obviously this is where the vast majority of all of your investment dollars and all of our time is going as we build this company, and I just thought it might be interesting for you to all have a little look at how things have come along. Quite a few of you have actually been out to site already, and in fact 9 of you are coming to the Hemp Happy Hour and Factory Tour, which is happening this afternoon at 3 o'clock, which is just amazing. So people coming from interstate to come and see where their money's been spent, and we're really looking forward to seeing them here. So I'm just going to walk you guys through really quickly. Hopefully I don't trip and fall. It's always the risk here of doing these walking and talkings. You'll see our very sophisticated shipping container office. We haven't spent any money, obviously, on doing anything in a particularly fancy way. We have finally got running water on site, which is just really exciting. We haven't actually had that here for ever. So using jerry cans and that kind of thing. Behind me you'll see my operations manager Penny and one of the original Hempettes who's been with me for nearly 4 years, Tina. 2 really integral parts of our team. We're now a team of 10, and Penny and Tina are both helping me work the event today. One of the other things that we have purchased out of the capital that we've raised in this seed round is the ute that's in the middle over there. Good old Beryl, the BT50. So we've now got a work ute that's dedicated for deliveries of mulch and that sort of thing, and doing pallet pickups. So we're just sort of finding that we're just getting everything together more and more all the time. We've got our actual shed, so you can see the pallets of product in there, our roof. Woohoo, the roof, that's very exciting. I don't know if you can see in the background, but we have now acquired a tractor. We've got a mechanised pallet jack. There's a whole bunch of equipment that we've been able to purchase just in these last few months, thanks to finally being able to close this seemingly endless seed capital raise that you've all been part of. So that's just a really exciting time actually. So I'm pretty pumped to be in the shed and in the facility today, and we love having people come and visit us. There's about 25 people I think who are coming to the Happy Hour and Factory Tour today. So if we come into our very, very sophisticated office space, you'll see behind me we've got a little window looking out into the factory, and our staff lockers. A lot of this stuff you'll find, we've found sort of on roadsides and things like that, so we've kept the spend as low as humanly possible on all of the things that aren't really required at this stage of the business, but certainly are spending the dollars where they are most needed. So we're now in the little hub of the HQ world. We've got a really tiny, I wouldn't even call it a retail shop, but there is now a space for folks to come during our trading hours if they physically want to come in and visit us. We sell a range of products here from other people who work in hemp in Tasmania. Companies like Hemp Harvests, who do beautiful food, seeds, protein powder and oils. The brand Soul Seeds is owned by Alexanol. They also grow hemp seed in Tassie. We've got books made out of hemp paper. We've got Tasmanian Hemp Association merchandise. We're a proud corporate member of the THA, and lots of other sort of examples of different ways hemp can be used. The beautiful paper products behind me are by a Tasmanian paper maker and artist, Joanna Gare. She does absolutely stunning work, and we've got some original artwork of a cannabis plant on Tasmanian hemp paper made out of processed bast from our factory. So it's pretty satisfying to see all of these very tangible and real things that have happened as a result of all of the hard work we've put in. Most importantly, of course, we have Astro, the wonder dog, looking extremely not particularly enthused because she'd like to be out there chasing sheep. And instead she's in here watching me do a very late shareholder update, and I do apologise. I've tried really hard not to be late on these, but the month of October just was a whirlwind, and I just didn't get a chance to do it until today, so I apologise for that. Quick bit of housekeeping. As always, if you don't already like and follow us on social media, we'd love you to do so. We use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube. It really helps us amplify the message without spending money, to tell people about the products that we do and just promote hemp generally. As I mentioned today, we've got one of our regular Hemp Happy Hour and Factory Tours. We put on about 4 of them in the last year. Each year, that's the plan, 3 to 4 opportunities. There's over 1,200 of us now as shareholders, and this gives you 4 opportunities through the year to come and have a look at what we do. There is also a large annual event that's run by the Tasmanian Hemp Association. That happens on the first Saturday in March every year. If you are planning to come and you want the full experience, I really recommend looking into coming to that one. You'll get to see crops in full bloom, if you could use that phrase. We'll have food, there'll be entertainment, all of these amazing things. The New Norfolk Distillery, corporate members of the Hemp Association, very good mates of ours, have just released an X-Hemp exclusive hemp rum and hemp vodka to join the beautiful and infamous hemp gin. So for those who enjoy an adult tipple, we'll have cocktails and things like that. Hemp kombucha for those who prefer not to drink alcohol. So a lot of really exciting things happening there too. On the pointy end of the stick, the financials, which is what the purpose of these quarterly updates are. As always, full transparency as to where we're at, and you'll have a full set of financials accompanying this video. And historically, you can go back to the very first quarter after the first investors put their money in late 2023, and there's quarterly reports spanning right the way back that you'll have access to as well. One of the questions that's come up quite a bit just over this last couple of months, certainly since we closed the seed round and we had some resultant publicity, obviously around that amazing final $1 million that came in, is around the share price. When all of you, the vast majority of you, have come in through the crowdsource funding, so the CSF mechanism, so through the campaigns we've run on Virtual, there's a small group of us, about 30 of us, that are investors who put money in before that, or bought our own time and as a founder. And so there's a small group of us who are ordinary shareholders who had a particular share price negotiated as related to those early, very, very, very high risk investments in 2020 when it was just a concept. Then in 2023 and 2024, the share price was set at $2.70 a share. So that's the price that you've all bought in, those of you in the retail cohort. And then the most recent investment of capital, we've had quite a few of you contact us, just noting that the share price for the wholesale investors, the folks who came in with a $1 million investment, paid 58 cents per share. So obviously there's a big discrepancy there between the $2.70 from the virtual raise and then, a year later or 6 months later for the 24 cohort. To see that share price drop, I understand, has caused some concern. So there's a couple of ways to frame this. Without that $1 million, X-Hemp would not have survived. That was the reality. We had such a string of bad luck through all of 24 and into 25 that we just wouldn't have recovered from. The storm tearing off our roof, the faulty roof cover, we lost about the equivalent of about 7 months of production through 2024. It's just not a sustainable loss for a company like ours. All of the build projects that we were supplying material to were delayed. So we were just being hit from every side. So the reality is that when a company is having a tough time like that, the value of the business is decreasing. So there's a reality to that. But I think probably the healthier way to frame it, and the way that I certainly look at it, like anything, there's a wholesale price or a bulk price, and then there's the retail price. So if you're buying a really small jar of something and it's split down and packaged in that little jar, you're paying a certain number of dollars for a kilo. And if you're buying 1,000 kilos from the wholesaler, you're going to be paying a significantly lower price. It's effectively exactly the same for folks who are buying into a business like ours. Really, the most important thing is that I remain the majority shareholder of this business. I own a 58% stake in the company. There is no one more highly motivated than me to make this business a roaring success, and a financial one too, because that's the natural sort of connection between those two things. 2 of my managers are also shareholders. That's their own hard-earned dollars that they've bought in. So you've got a trio of folks here running the actual operations of the business who are looking after every dollar. And that is why you'll see us being as careful as we are and not spending money unnecessarily on anything. Every single bit of our energy and attention goes into creating a company that's going to be profitable and have a much higher value. And that is how we will all make our investments back over the coming period. I'm being very deliberately vague with period because we simply don't know how long it's going to be. 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years. That's the nature of investing in an early stage startup. Obviously, we're all hoping and aiming for a shorter time period as possible, but we do all need to be in the headspace that this is a long haul, and we'll certainly continue to update you every quarter to let you know how things are going, and when things are changing, you will be the first to know as shareholders. So really, as I've just done a quick walk around, the $1 million that came in has effectively bought us a significant amount of new equipment, and every single piece of new equipment that we have bought has dramatically had an impact, on our rate of production. So it's as simple as that. We had staff who were breaking down bales of hemp manually, so literally 2 people using their hands, unrolling big 300 kilogram bales and breaking down the straw that way. We now have a mechanised bale unwinder. We had staff dragging an old pallet jack across a very rough dirt floor. We've now got an all-terrain mechanised pallet jack and a concrete floor. We were borrowing our fantastically generous landlord's tractor, but that meant that we only could use it for a couple of hours once a week. We now own a tractor, so we don't have any constraints or restrictions now on just getting the job done and getting it done quickly and in the most profitable and efficient way possible. So it just couldn't be more exciting, actually. I'm finally seeing the vision realised, and it's taken a long time to get here. We've just recruited 3 more part-time staff to our production team. So we have a production team now of 6 amazing women who are working in the factory, physically processing the material. Then we've got myself, obviously, as the Managing Director, Penny as the Ops Manager, Sam we've got as our Admin Manager, Beth, who's the second company director at the moment, and also my mum. She's our People and Culture Manager with decades of HR experience. We've got a fantastic bookkeeper, Courtney Wallen, our long-suffering CFO, Susan Enquist, and on the board now, 2 new board members from the most recent investment, John and Hamish Murray from Danehill Group. So to think how we've come from a tiny business where it was myself and 4 production staff, sort of at the very beginning in 2021, 22, to where we are now 3 years later, it's actually really amazing. We've got some new products that are going to be coming out over the next couple of weeks and months. The one that we're all pretty revved up about is the biochar, and certainly just follow us on our socials and you'll be able to see all of those pieces of information coming through as we release products into the marketplace. Obviously, always in the background, processing building grade, retted, locally grown hemp for the construction sector. That's the foundation stone of our business. And that's what we're supplying into residential builds and major commercial projects like the incredible forestry building down in Hobart, which is very close to completion and will be soon open to the public. I believe it's the largest single use of hempcrete in the Southern Hemisphere, which is just mind-boggling to say that out loud. But more importantly for me, it's going to be a space in the capital city of my state, in Hobart, that over 3,000 staff from UTAS, the University of Tasmania, and students will use every day. So as far as exposure to the material, there's been up to 150 trades in that site a day, and folks who have never even seen or heard of hempcrete are now not only aware of it, but super fans. And it's incredibly satisfying for me to hear highly experienced trades from a range of different sectors of the building industry contacting us and saying, we actually want to build a hempcrete house. My partner and I are looking at it, and this is the material. So we're feeling the winds of change, and it's a really exciting time. Speaking of winds, that was an accidental segue. We had some pretty wild and crazy weather, and that's the reality now in the new era of more extreme weather because of climate change. We survived it with some minor damage, and I was talking to my ops manager, Penny, about it. The reason for that, bit of luck, obviously, a gust of wind coming in 5 or 10 kilometres lighter perhaps or something like that. But really a lot of it comes down to the fact that we've now got a regular maintenance program. So we're just much more equipped to survive the inevitable challenges that get thrown our way. So we're not naive. We understand we work in the agricultural sector and we live on planet Earth. So there's going to be things that happen that we can't control. We're just much better equipped now to survive them. So that's a really great thing as well. Probably one of the major issues that's happening in the industry more broadly, there is a federal Senate inquiry that's been called into hemp, which is an amazing opportunity for companies like mine. There's myself, and then there's a couple of other processing mills in the country. Gary Rogers out in Western Australia, Matt Box in Victoria, Connie and Leon up in New South Wales. We are the 4 companies right now who are processing locally grown retted hemp for the building industry. Clara Maraseki from the Australian Hemp Masonry Company are manufacturing Australia's only certified warranted lime binder to make hempcrete. So for those of you who are keeping an eye on the broader industry movements, there are folks who are still importing products and marking it as made in Australia, certainly not making it clear to their customers that they are using imported products rather than Aussie made. So we're battling a few things in the background there. So I'm really excited about the Senate inquiry. I think it gives us a great opportunity, those of us that are working ethically and working really hard to bring this industry forward. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to have a voice at that national level. So 6 senators sit on the committee secretariat, all of their staff. This is a brilliant way for us to show them the possibility of hemp, and if we can get the Australian government behind us, particularly with the drive towards Australian manufacturing and made in Australia and all of these great things, let's not even talk about carbon and the fact that the products itself are astonishingly effective and amazing to use. That's just gravy, it really is. So it's a pretty bloody exciting chapter. I feel pretty lucky to have even survived the last 24 months. They've been pretty unrelentingly grueling, and I was reflecting on some of the updates that I've made for you over that period of time. I wasn't looking particularly rested or happy during that. I have now had a bit of annual leave, as have all of my team, and we are getting ready to go into an incredibly busy summer, and we're just raring to go. So I thank you all again. Literally, we would not be here if we didn't have people believe in us to the extent of putting their own money in. It's all well and good to have an idea that I believe in so wholeheartedly, but if you can't convince others to come along with you, then it's just simply that, just an idea. And all of you individually, on whatever level of investment you have come in with, whether you are an entry-level retail investor who purchased $300 worth of shares, right through to the Danehill Group who came in with that final $1 million, every single one of your dollars are being treated with the same level of care and respect, and we're working hard to make sure that we all get that return at the end. So a huge thank you to everybody. As always, any questions, please shoot them through. We do have a tiny team, lots of you, so be patient if you can. Hopefully I've answered the questions from the folks who have sent messages through, and I really look forward to staying in touch with you all. Thank you.